The newest Disney Dreamlight Valley update is finally here, and there seems to be a lot that we weren't told. In today's video, we'll be discussing 10 big changes that were not mentioned in the patch notes. We'll be covering everything from exciting new quality of life improvements to important changes to Dreamsnap text and even some strange new bugs. I'd like to start this video by thanking our wonderful community over on Twitch. It was only with their help that we were able to find and cover all of this information for you today. Before we get started, I'd like to mention that I'm a small full-time content creator, so every like on these videos can make a very big difference for me. Consider subscribing for more Disney Dreamlight Valley and gaming content. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at some of these lesser known changes. The first quality of life change we're going to discuss today is going to be the mailbox. Now, of course, in the past, whenever you got mail, it was all in one place. We pretty much just had an inbox. And I'm sure most of you guys caught this today when you went to check your Dreamsnap results. But now our mailbox has been broken up into separate tags, making this a great quality of life improvement, and our mail is just going to be a lot easier to navigate. Now, this next little quality of life change is very small, so there's not going to be a lot of talking here, but if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find there is finally actually a meat tab. So thankfully, the days of us having to go into all and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll to get to our meats are now over. So this is going to make cooking with meat so much faster and so much more efficient. A very, very nice little quality of life change there. Now, our next topic is going to be indoors, and really, this is only going to count for one, but there's two things I want to bring up here. To get the first one out of the way fast, some items have been resized. For example, I went into my kitchen today and I found out that my fireplace had been yoinked off the wall because it no longer fit there. It had been expanded by 1 square. Now, I don't know exactly how many items have been resized, but I do know at least this fireplace right here is 1 square longer than before, which made me have to get rid of like a shelf I had over here. I'm gonna have to fix my kitchen now. But yeah, if you walked into a room today and things were just kind of moved over or adjusted somehow, that would explain it. There's probably been a resizing of an item within that room. But that information is pretty boring compared to what I'm about to show you, because this is such a big quality of life change, and it may seem small, but this is big for me. So as you guys know, whenever you want to leave your house, you have that blue light there, you can just hit exit and you'll walk out of the house, but only on the first floor. Well, not anymore. We're gonna head upstairs, and even though I am no longer on the first floor, you can see that I can walk right to the exit, and boom, we're gonna go right outside. So no longer will you have to take your elevator back down to the first floor to walk out of the house. You can leave the house from any floor, which makes sense considering our houses kind of operate on Disney magic. I mean, it's not really 20 stories high, it's just magically that inside. Another nice little quality of life fix. Now, both items number 4 and 5 are going to be covered here in Scrooge's shop. Like I mentioned earlier, we're not bothering ourselves covering things that have already been covered in previous patch notes and covered on a lot of other content here on YouTube. We're gonna stick with things that were not mentioned, or at least not confirmed. The first thing is probably one of the most exciting things on the list, and it will probably turn out to be the death of me. Over are the days of only being able to order 25 items from Scrooge. From here on out, players will be able to order 1,000 items per day. And as you can tell, I went a little bit crazy with this today. I've ordered 461 items. I've spent nearly 4 million star coins. It's, yeah, it was a little bit of a problem, but I got a lot of stuff I wanted, so, I mean, it's cool. Now, out of everything on the list, most of you guys probably heard about this because this created a lot of buzz. Either way, I have to say it's one of the coolest changes, and the patch notes did not mention such a tremendous increase in what we can order daily. The exact wording of the patch notes said we've expanded Scrooge McDuck's shop. We know many of you check nearly every day in hopes of seeing that elusive furniture piece that'll tie your collection together. So with this change, the shop will offer more options to choose from every day. So we knew we were getting more options, and we knew the shop was expanded. But to go from being able to buy 25 items per day to 1,000 is a change I don't think anybody expected. And now that brings us to item number 5, and I think this one is going to be extremely useful a bit later on. As you know, once you acquire an item from a star path, you can order duplicates of that item from Scrooge's shop. Now, thanks to the patch notes, we know items from previous star paths will be coming to the premium shop very soon. And thanks to the addition of these nice new filters down here at the very bottom, you'll be able to search for any of the new items you get according to their star path. So we now have star path search filters. Now, I do think this one's a little lesser known because, you know, it's in filters. You got to go all the way to the bottom. And I know a lot of people were surprised to see this on stream today, and it might not be of any big help to you right now. But once you get that Well of Souls, or you start getting your Disney park rides, you'll know you can go straight to Disney parks, go back, and then you'll be able to see all of the Disney Park Star Path items. And if you need any refresher on how to access filters, all you need to do is go to whatever category you're looking for. Let's say all. Once you're there, go to the little top right filter button here. And there you are. You know, you can just put in whatever filters you want and you'll be able to find the items you're looking for. And I'm glad we're covering filters because we have some really interesting information to go over regarding Dreamsnaps, but we have one more very nice quality of life change to discuss first. Now, if you're like me and you finished Scramblecoin forever ago, you're probably starting to get really tired of your Valley residents coming up to you demanding to play Scramblecoin with that frustrating logo above their head. I've complained about it. I know a bunch of other people have complained about it. It's infuriating, especially when you're trying to work on Dreamsnaps. It gives you no choice but to really rope things off a lot better, because when a villager wants to play Scramblecoin, they really want to play Scramblecoin. Now there is a toggle to shut that down. So once you're in your settings, we now have a gameplay option. This is the first time we've had this option. It's brand new. I'm really hoping they add more things to gameplay, but for right now, it simply says enable Scramblecoin request. And let me make myself disappear so you can see this a little bit better. So yeah, there you go. So enable Scramblecoin request. Of course, mine is off. You know, whatever it says is what its active state is going to be. So if you're tired of your villagers coming up to you and wanting to play Scramblecoin and you're just over it, switch it off. No more problem. They haven't bothered me at all today. And honestly, it's just been the best. This is probably my favorite quality of life fix. And that says a lot because ordering 1,000 items is pretty nice. Now, the next topic we're going to cover is going to be some changes to the text lines here on the Dreamsnaps challenges. And it's not an understatement to say there has been a lot of confusion around Dreamsnaps. Now, before I talk about this change, I want to be very, very clear. I do not think, nor have we seen evidence that Dreamsnaps has changed in any way. All we're seeing now is a little bit more clarity from the devs. Recently, it's come to the attention of a lot of players. When you utilize certain tags more, your Dreamsnap seems to have much better visibility, leading to better rank and discovery, and a lot of other interesting things. However, there's been a lot of confusion about this because even I've tested it where I would do a Dreamsnap and I would hide hundreds of extra mandatory items in the back, and then I would do another one where I did the opposite and just went with a low number of mandatory items, and the lower number ends up doing better and scoring better and ranking better. The quickest and easiest example I could give you for this would be my Holiday Cheer Dreamsnap. Now, in Holiday Cheer, a lot of people were saying that tagged items, that's when it really started hyping up, that people were like, oh, you got to tag dump, you got to put as many mandatory items as you can. And I said, I don't really think that has a huge effect on Dreamsnap performance, but I'm gonna test it. So I put all of these tagged items, and they did register. When I took the photo, it was like 70 of 3, and like, you know, it was like something crazy, like 80 of 4. So I ended up having all these extra tag items, but the photo just did normal. So despite loading the Holiday Cheer Dreamsnap down with all of these mandatory tags, it didn't really seem to have much of an impact on its performance. It performed about as good as my Dreamsnaps usually do. In fact, it might have barely gotten 4,000 Moonstones. It scored 79.67, it ranked 5,049, and it received 180 Pixel Dust. So I noticed no big change or impact from putting all of these mandatory items in it. Now, Holiday Cheer had way more mandatory tagged items than this Dreamsnap, and this was from the Under the Sea challenge. As you can see, it's an indoor challenge. There's nowhere I can really be hiding a whole bunch of extra tags and have a good amount of open space. So why is it that this photo scored much better, getting an 85.13, ranking 180, and earning me 186 Pixel Dust? And the answer is simple. Throwing loads and loads of mandatory tags into your photo isn't what truly elevates it. It's always been a mix of the mandatory and suggested tags. That's why this photo did so well. Most of the items being used are from the Little Mermaid collection, and most of the items being used benefit from both mandatory and suggested tags. So even though I used less tagged items, I got a higher score and a better rank. The reason I'm telling you all of this now is because for the first time, the devs have actually changed the wording on this Dreamsnaps page. Mandatory is still mandatory, but look at how they changed suggested. Suggested is now called bonus. And I personally believe that it's been bonus this entire time. So if you've ever put your heart and soul into a Dreamsnap and it just completely flopped and you were left scratching your head wondering, where did I go wrong? Did people really hate my work? Your Dreamsnap very well could have suffered from not utilizing both mandatory and bonus tags. Now, I have a lot of theories on how these actually do impact your Dreamsnaps, but this video is not about that. It's about changes that weren't mentioned in the patch notes, and this very well could be one of the most important changes I will cover in this video. The fact that the devs felt the need to change that word from suggested to bonus makes me think that they felt it wasn't very clear. And to be fair, it wasn't. When I hear suggested, I think that's just ideas they're trying to give us. So they're like, hey, try this, try that. And now that I reflected back on my Dreamsnaps, any Dreamsnap where I used more mandatory and suggested together always did so much better. And sure, I've had Dreamsnaps get 4,000 moonstones that didn't really use a whole lot of both. I've had some minimalistic Dreamsnaps that didn't have a lot of mandatory and maybe barely any bonus actually perform well. So I'm not saying you 100% have to do this, but I think the devs are being very, very clear here. A lot of people have been super frustrated with Dreamsnaps because they don't understand what's happening. And I think the devs did this to provide some clarity. So when you're working on your Dreamsnap, don't go out of your way to put 100 mandatory items in it. Just do your best to use a high number of tagged items all the way around. I mean, if you can find items that work for your photo that have all 4 tags, definitely use those because they are going to give you a massive boost. And I'd love to talk about this more in a future video. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below. I was doing the update all day and I've been working on this video all day, so I haven't even done my Dreamsnap video today. The first week in 31 weeks that I haven't uploaded a Dreamsnap video on a Wednesday, but we just had too much going on today. That said, if you go back to the beginning of this video, once you reach the end, I did show my Dreamsnap rank and score when we went over the mailbox. I just didn't talk about it. And as a little teaser, here it is. This is the Mickey Mouse's Festival of Hearts or whatever it was. Yeah, there you go, there you go. Okay, moving on. Item number 8 that was not mentioned in the patch notes, which is really kind of surprising because they did talk about a lot of bug fixes. The pebbled paths that we got during the Rift in Time expansion are now fixed. So we can place them, you can use your borders, they're not broken anymore, they're not gonna get weird and janky. If you wanna use these paths, now you can just go wild. Though I don't know why a flower is growing through it, that might be kind of still weird in a way. And my friends, that moves us on to change number 9, which is really nice for your storage room builds. If you watch my storage room build video on Eternity Isle items, then you know I had to put substitute items on some of these chests because some items on Eternity Isle would not go on tables. It just would not let you put them there. That has been fixed. So these 3 chests over here, I've finally got the right items on them. And I believe these items here were the main culprits. Like you have your tropical wood, which by the way, only takes up 1 square. All the other wood in the game takes up 4 squares. So just a fun fact. Don't know if you care, but there you go. And then amber, that is also fixed. Pretty much all the stuff you could dig out of the ground. None of these items were able to be placed on tables. And now, as you can see, you know, just easy as 1, 2, 3, you know, just throw them right up there. Just your pearls, your oasis glass, your bones. Oh, not your bones, but everything else apparently, just not the bones. Okay, well, I'm glad I tried to test that during the video because I would have just put my own foot in my mouth if I didn't try it myself. So yeah, it seems like everything except for bones can easily go on the tables now. Sorry, bones, you're just gonna have to live on the floor forever, I guess. Now, I do have one more tiny little bug fix I wanted to throw to you guys. It's not big enough, so I'm just gonna tie it into 8 and 9. But if you've been playing Eternity Isle since it dropped, in the promenade in this back section here, we've never been able to fish in this water. Every time we cast out, it just rejects your fishing line. Well, not anymore. Now you can actually fish here. So yeah, have fun, get some more electric eels, whatever you want to do. Just as long as you know that. I missed the fish. And now moving on to item number 10, and this is where things are going to get a bit weird. We're going to be discussing some very strange bugs. So I feel like the first and most important bug we should discuss in this video is going to be the issue with the vacuums. And the reason I want to discuss this is because I'm worried players are going to burn a lot of mist without realizing it. So if you've opened up your vacuum, you've noticed the select all option is gone. And then on top of that, when you select things to pick them up, it just says collect and there's no visible mist charge. However, if you look here, I have 206,841 mist. And even though it doesn't show me being charged, I will pay 10 mist per flower per item that I pick up. So if I pick up all 9 of these flowers, you're going to see that I now have 206,751 mist. So I think that shows that this is definitely a bug. I don't think it was intended for those features to be removed here. So I think this is the most important bug to bring up, just so you guys know you're still spending mist. So just be careful there. The next 2 bugs we're going to talk about are going to have to do with flower beds, and specifically flower beds from the expansion, and even more specifically, glass flower beds. Now, this one in particular is a big issue. And to be clear here, this is the black and white flower rectangle. Now, I believe this is the only flower bed doing this, though there are some funny problems with the others that we'll reveal in a moment, but I think this one's a little bit more important because if you run into it, you might freak out, and I want you to understand what's going on. So if you try to run over the flower bed, everything seems fine if you go right over the middle, but if you try to walk over it, you're going to get stuck, and now I can't move. I'm not using the controller at all, and I can't do anything. So this is an easy thing to get out of. You're just going to want to go into your furniture mode here. You're going to want to move the flower bed, and boom, you're good. That's all it takes. Alternatively, you could also fast travel to break this, and you're pretty much always going to get stuck if you approach the flower bed from the corners or anything. So if you have a lot of these black and white flower rectangles like lining a sidewalk, you're going to get trapped on them. It's a headache, but it's just this flower bed. And it also gets a little bit weirder. So if I glide over it, right, and then I let go, I will just treadmill the flower bed. So yeah, this is a really weird and probably frustrating bug for some of you guys if you love this flower bed. In the meantime, until this is patched, I would say it might be a good idea just to swap these flower beds out with some others, because until then, you're gonna get stuck like anytime you try to walk across these. Now, if you go directly across the center of it and you got a little bit of speed, it seems to be okay. But the second you try to approach from a corner, you're done. You're done. You're done. So yeah, pretty weird. And if that wasn't weird enough, like I said, we're not done with these glass flower beds yet. Okay, so first we're going to be looking at these orange flower beds. We have the orange flower rectangle and the orange flower circle. Now, these are all supposed to be orange, but the issue, like I said, lies with the glass flowers. And the problem is when you start to move away, something goes weird with the rendering and they all turn black. I mean, if you turn the camera and it gets closer, you'll see the one on the left side of my screen will turn orange again. So it has to do with it's distant from the camera. So if you walk past them, you'll see they'll start to slowly fade back to black as your camera gets further away. And that also seems to be the case for all of the yellow glass flowers. But as you can see, I'm nice and close to it, and the yellow ones are yellow as they're supposed to be. But if I start to walk away, boom, they turn black. And these ones on this one even just disappears entirely. Very strange, very, very strange bug. Like I said, I told you guys it was going to be a weird one. Now, there are only 2 bugs left I want to discuss, and I want to save something really weird and frustrating for last. So this bug is really small and really easy to fix. I had this bug and all I had to do was restart my game and it was fine. When you first get to the laugh floor, Mike and Sully are going to ask you to clean up like slug slime and trash or something. Long story short, I did all of them and nothing happened. Every time I talked to Mike or Sully, they would just be like, yeah, go clean that stuff up. And it was already done. I looked at my quest. There was nothing else I could do. I talked to chat and they said, yeah, actually, a few people said I had that problem. I restarted and I was able to continue. continue. So I restarted my game, I came back, and they said it was done. So if you run into that and you're like, dang it, I can't get these new characters, I'm stuck, just restart your game and you should be good to go. And now for the final and probably my most frustrating bug of the day. If you know me and you keep up with my content, you watch my Dreamsnap content especially, I love changing my avatar. I like having full creative expression, and I don't really want to be recognizable in my Dreamsnaps. I have a little bit of a presence on YouTube and Twitch, and I don't want people to see my avatar and immediately recognize, oh, that's Senpai, I like his content. I want people to enjoy my Dreamsnap, but I want them to enjoy my Dreamsnap because they enjoy my Dreamsnap, not because they enjoy my content. Also, the freedom of just being able to change your avatar's gender for different Dreamsnaps. Some challenges I think just work way better with female avatars, while other challenges I prefer male avatars. And for a few examples, you know, like my pirate Dreamsnaps, I really enjoy doing the male avatar for those. This previous Valentine's Day, and even certain decor challenges, I really like the female because she has a much smaller frame, and it allows you to see more of the decor. She's also a good bit shorter than the male avatar. So sometimes their size is a big thing for me when it comes to making a Dreamsnap. So today, while I was live, I wanted to see what this amazing new armor looked like on the female avatar, and I was really excited to check it out because they have very different builds. So I go into my wardrobe here, and then I go down and I select the female body type, and then I back out, and pretty much every single time I did, I was rejected. It would just transform back into the male every single time. I tried restarting, it didn't work. I tried changing other things with the outfit, it didn't work. And I was about to load the game on my Steam Deck, but then it hit me. I have mannequins upstairs. And if you have male and female mannequins, which they are different, if you save a female outfit on a mannequin, it will become a female mannequin, and you can take your male avatar to a female mannequin and change between the two genders. So if for some reason the game is bugging out for you and it's not letting you switch back to a male avatar or a female avatar, you can just come up to your mannequins, interact with them, hit wear, and boom, you'll change back. Just like if I want to go back to a female, I can come right here, and same thing. And even if you're not dealing with a bug, I think some players might not know that you can do this. So even if you don't run into that bug, maybe this is still cool information for you, and you'll play with more outfits and costumes this way. Either way, I hope you have fun with it. And there you have it, my friends. 10 and probably a few more interesting changes that have come to Disney Dreamlight Valley that were not in the patch notes. If you enjoyed today's video, please do me a very big favor and hit that thumbs up, as it helps more people find my content, and as a small full-time content creator, that is a very big deal for little ol' senpai. Consider subscribing for more Disney Dreamlight Valley and gaming content. If you're a fan of games like Pal World, I have an amazing 100-day survival Pal World movie on the way. I am super excited to share it with you guys, and it's going to be a little while before it's done. I will definitely share it as soon as it is. As always, thank you so much for your time today, and enjoy the Laugh Floor update. Also, quick side note, a lot of you guys probably don't know this, but we have a Twitch channel point redemption where you can redeem your very own YouTube shout out. So big shout out to my friend Kristen, aka Crispy Crispin. Kristen, thank you for everything you do for me. Thank you for being a great friend over the years. I appreciate you and your family very much. And I hope you enjoyed today's video.